If you keep staring at the door that closed, you'll never notice the one that just opened for you. But what if your entire life depended on walking through that new door? This is the story of a man who lost everything, but found himself when he finally learned to leave his past behind. Meet Daniel Harris, a 32-year-old man who once had everything: a promising job, a loving family, and big dreams. But in just 1 year, everything he cared about slipped away like sand through his fingers. It's not just a story of failure. It's a story of redemption, courage, and hope. A story that will remind you, no matter what happened in your past, your future is still waiting for you. Daniel used to work as a software engineer in a big company in London. He was smart, hardworking, and everyone admired him. He had a beautiful wife named Sophia and a little daughter, Lily, who was just 6 years old. His life seemed perfect, until the day everything changed. One evening after working late, Daniel received a call. It was from the hospital. His wife and daughter had met with an accident while returning from her parents' house. By the time Daniel reached the hospital, it was too late. Both of them were gone. That night shattered Daniel completely. He stopped talking to friends, stopped going to work, and stopped living his life. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but the pain never left him. He blamed himself for everything. If only I had gone with them, if only I had called earlier, maybe they'd still be alive. That phrase, "if only," became the prison of his mind. A year passed. Daniel had lost his job, his home, and even his will to live. He moved into a small apartment on the edge of the city, surrounded by silence and loneliness. Every night he would stare at old photos of Sophia and Lily. He couldn't sleep without hearing their laughter in his head. One night, his old friend Michael visited him. Michael was cheerful and optimistic, the complete opposite of Daniel now. Michael said, "Daniel, I know it's hard, but you can't live like this forever. You've got to move on." Daniel replied, "Move on? How can I move on when my world ended that day?" Michael said, "Your world didn't end, Daniel. You just stopped walking." Those words hit Daniel like a storm. He didn't reply, but they echoed in his mind for days. One rainy evening, Daniel sat in a park, drenched in his thoughts and the rain. He noticed an old man sitting beside him, calm, smiling, feeding birds despite the storm. The man turned to him and said softly, "You look like someone who's trying to run while chained to a rock."
Daniel frowned. "I lost my family. I can't just forget them." The old man nodded. "You're not supposed to forget them, but you're supposed to live for them, not die with them." He handed Daniel a small piece of paper and said, "Read this when you're ready," and walked away. Daniel unfolded the paper. It said only 5 words: "The past is not home." He didn't understand it fully at that moment, but something inside him shifted. The next morning, Daniel woke up early, something he hadn't done in months. He looked out the window and saw the sunrise. For the first time in years, it looked beautiful. He remembered the old man's words, "The past is not home." So Daniel decided to take one small step. He started going for morning walks. Then he joined a local community center as a volunteer, teaching computer basics to underprivileged kids. The first day he was nervous, but when he saw the kids' smiles, something inside him healed a little. There was one boy, Ryan, who reminded Daniel of his daughter, Lily. He was curious, full of energy, but had lost his parents too. They connected instantly. One day, Ryan asked, "Sir, why are you always sad even when you smile?" That innocent question broke Daniel's heart. He realized he wasn't just living in the past, he was hiding in it. Determined to change, Daniel did something he had avoided in years. He visited the old house where he lived with Sophia and Lily. The house was empty, dusty, and silent. Memories flooded back, laughter in the kitchen, bedtime stories, birthdays, love. Tears rolled down his face. But this time, he didn't fight them. He let himself cry, not out of guilt, but out of love. He whispered, "Sophia, Lily, I'll never forget you, but I promise I'll live again. For you." He placed a photo of them on the table, smiled, and walked away, leaving behind not the memory, but the pain attached to it. That was the first day Daniel truly breathed again. Weeks turned into months. Daniel became known in the community center as Mr. Hope. He began teaching more kids, not just about computers, but about life. He started a small project called Second Chances, helping people who lost their loved ones or jobs find meaning again. He shared his story, not with shame, but with pride, because his scars were now symbols of survival. People began to find strength in his journey. One evening, after giving a motivational talk, a young woman approached him in tears. She said, "I was about to give up on life until I heard your story. Thank you." He smiled and said, "Don't thank me, thank the future waiting for you." Months later, Daniel received a letter from the same old man he met in the park. It read, "Dear Daniel, when I saw you that night, I saw myself. Years ago, I too lost everything. I spent half my life living in yesterday. But one day I realized the past is like an old chapter in a book. You can read it again, but you can't change it. What you can do is write the next chapter. And now you're doing that beautifully. Keep walking, my friend. Samuel." Daniel smiled as he read the letter. He finally understood he had been given a second chance, not by life, but by himself. One Sunday, Daniel visited the cemetery where Sophia and Lily rested. Instead of sadness, he brought flowers and a small paper airplane, something Lily used to love.
He sat down, smiled at their graves, and said softly, "You'll always be my heart, but it's time to fly again." He threw the paper airplane into the sky, watching it drift higher and higher. And in that moment, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. Years later, Daniel became a motivational speaker. He traveled across countries, helping people overcome grief, regret, and pain. In one of his seminars, he said something that made the audience silent for a moment. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. The past is a place of reference, not residence. He shared his story, his loss, his rebirth. And every time someone asked how he did it, he smiled and said, "I stopped asking why me, and started asking, what now?" One day, while giving his speech at a youth conference, Daniel saw a familiar face in the crowd: Ryan, the little boy he once taught. Ryan, now grown up, came on stage and hugged him. He said, "Sir, You once told me to live for the people I lost. Today, I teach children just like you taught me. You changed my life." Tears filled Daniel's eyes. In that moment, he realized every pain he endured, every tear he shed, led him to this. He had turned his broken past into a bridge for others. That evening, as Daniel walked back to his car, he looked at the sunset, golden, peaceful, endless. He whispered to himself, "The past taught me pain, the present taught me purpose, and the future taught me hope." He smiled, knowing that Sophia and Lily would be proud of the man he had become. Because finally, he had left his past behind, not by forgetting it, but by learning to walk beyond it. Moral of the story: no matter how dark your past is, it can never define your future. The moment you stop carrying yesterday's weight, your wings grow lighter. Remember, every ending is just a new beginning in disguise. So leave your past behind and walk into the life waiting for you. If this story touched your heart, remember, pain is not meant to imprison you, it's meant to prepare you. Don't let your past hold your future hostage. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it today, because sometimes one story can change a life.